Well, hello everyone. Since SSBs are round the corner, one needs to be well equipped about various steps and processes. One such important form filling process is PIQ. So today's video is dedicated to PIQ, how to fill it, and what are the columns and details required to be filled in. The video is in two parts. Part 1 deals with how to fill PIQ, and part 2 is why PIQ is important. So let's begin. PIQ means Personal Information Questionnaire. Read it again. Personal Information Questionnaire. The form is about you, your personal details in questionnaire format. The best thing is that you will be writing the answer, so technically it's your curriculum vitae. Some call it resume as well. A curriculum vitae is Latin for course of life. So whatever you have done in course of your life, write it down. Let's start with various sections or the questions asked in PIQ. Please note here, we are providing you the sample PIQ. There is a possibility that the original PIQ will have questions a bit different in position, but be rest assured the questions will be the same. The top left corner asks about your siblings, but this question could be at different position or in continuation of your family background questions. The top right column is for OIR. Yes, you heard it right. The Officer's Intelligence Rating. So when this form arrives at your interviewing officer, he or she is well aware about how you have performed in OIR. So that's the reason why we always emphasize not to take the OIR lightly. Then you have to write your selection board number, for example, first AFSB or the third AFSB, and the places like Dehradun, Gandhinagar, etc. Then the batch number and the chest number, which will be provided to you when you will be screened in. One important thing to note here is always write the chest number you are wearing at the time of writing PIQ. This will be allotted to you after screening. Do not write the chest number given to you before screening. Avoid such silly mistakes. UPSC roll number will be your FCAT number. Here it is. You may be asked to write down your FCAT number in a paper and keep it with you so that you may not come up with the reason that you don't remember it or you don't have your document. Thereafter, your name, your father's name, and the place of your maximum residence. Like for many kids who have military background, their fathers stay at different locations due to transfers. So, do keep ready these answers. Then your present address, your permanent address. See, many candidates get confused over population question. You just need to Google it and either memorize the figure or write down the figure. They are asking the approximate data, not the exact one. So, no worries. Okay, now for district headquarter, just ask this question: does your district have divisional headquarter for administrative works? If yes, write yes. And to be honest, all the major cities or the districts have one. So majority answer is yes in this case, but please, if your place is special, do check and then fill. Thereafter, you will have to answer questions related to your religion, caste, mother tongue, date of birth, marital status. After that, details of your parents, like their education, occupation, and if unfortunately they are not alive, so your age when the death happened. Like if your father died when you were 7 years old, write 7. Please, again, do not write age of parent at time of death. It's a very common mistake committed. The question clearly asks your age. After that, provide all your educational qualification and most importantly, the outstanding achievement. Like if you were district topper, school topper, or any remarkable achievement worth mentioning. Then you will mention your physical parameters like your height, your weight, then occupation, income. If you are NCC cadet, then briefing about that as well. Then comes the sports achievement, if any. And please, if you were not active player and have done it at school level casually or in fact for that matter, no participation at all, that's okay. It's not a deciding factor, it's just for detailing. Thereafter comes hobbies. My personal opinion is that do write something that shows your curious or learning attitude. Like if few people may write listening songs, that's fine. But then if you will write reading books, then it means you are doing something you can learn from. But again, be honest, utterly honest. Then comes most important part, which is extracurricular activities. Do write it down carefully. These are the activities which shows your dynamic and multi-dimensional personality. Any event done, any activity you did at school, college level like debate, dancing, coding, just mention it. Even as simple as handwriting competition, this is the asset you carry. Take pride in writing it down. Then, any responsible position you held during your school, college, or even in current occupation. Like if you were the college ambassador, or you are currently the event organizer in your team, or if you had been the school head girl or head boy, anything wherein you were assigned work as an authority and you did it holding that position will come under this section. And at last, your nature of commission, permanent or short service, how many other attempts you hold. And the last column asks about the detailing for the same in all attempts, like your entry, your SSB center, date, batch number, chest number, and what was the result. Were you recommended or not? Already recommended candidate keep these details handy with them to avoid time and energy in memorizing. So I hope a lot would have got clear through this video, and the next one will tell you why PIQ is important, the link for which is there in description. Why you should take seriously the PIQ form, especially while filling it. So stay tuned and keep sharing. Jai Hind.